This was one of the most hyped youth team football players of all time.
Hachim Mastour. He might be the biggest failed Wonderkid of all time.
Hachim Mastour, once considered one of the most exciting young talents in football. He was the kid with the flashy skills, the viral YouTube videos, and the social media following that any 14-year-old could only dream of. AC Milan hailed him as the future of the club, and fans just couldn't wait to see him shine on the biggest stage. But the fairy tale never came true. Today, we're diving into the story of how social media hype helped launch Hachim Mastour into the spotlight, but ultimately destroyed his career at AC Milan. Born in Reggio Emilia, Italy, to Moroccan parents, Mastour grew up with the ball at his feet. By the age of just 10, his talent was undeniable. He quickly caught the attention of scouts across Italy, and it wasn't long before he joined AC Milan's youth academy, a club known for producing world-class talent. But what set Mastour apart from other young prospects was his use of social media. In an era where YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter were becoming increasingly popular, Mastour was one of the first players to truly go viral. Videos of him doing jaw-dropping freestyle skills racked up millions of views online, and fans began calling him the next Messi. By the age of just 14, Mastour was not just a football prodigy, he was a social media sensation. But with that level of fame came enormous pressure. Was this young star truly ready for the big leagues, or had the social media spotlight blinded everyone to the reality of his abilities? At just 14 years old, Mastour was already being pushed by AC Milan. An astonishing amount of hype put on the shoulders for such a young player. The club hailed him as their next big star, and the fans were ready to witness his debut for the first team. What made Mastour different from other young talents was the way that he was marketed. AC Milan leveraged his social media fame to promote him as the face of the club's future. He even starred in a viral Red Bull commercial with the one and only Neymar Jr., further fueling the comparisons to the Brazilian superstar. With every Instagram post, every YouTube video, and every trick clip that went viral at the time, the pressure on Mastour continued to mount. He was dubbed the first YouTube footballer, and the world watched as the hype around him reached an almost unrealistic level. But while Mastour's social media presence grew, his footballing development was stalling. He was expected to transition from youth football to the senior squad, but that leap was proving far more difficult than anyone had anticipated. The problem with hype is that it creates expectations that are almost impossible to meet. Despite being hailed as the next big thing, Mastour never made a single competitive appearance for AC Milan's senior team. Instead, he spent most of his time on the bench or playing for the reserves. While the world was watching him on YouTube, Mastour was struggling to break into the first team of AC Milan. The skills that made him famous on social media didn't translate into consistent performances on the pitch. In 2015, desperate for playing time, Mastour was loaned out to Málaga in Spain's La Liga. But the move was a disaster. Mastour only played 5 minutes of football for the entire season, a shocking statistic for a player who was once being compared to footballing legends. He was then loaned out again to PEC Zwolle in the Netherlands Eredivisie, but once again, he struggled. His stats during these seasons were abysmal. 0 goals, 0 assists, and barely any playing time. For a player who had the world at his feet, the numbers just, for some reason, didn't add up. So, what went wrong? How did a player with so much potential fail to live up to the hype? One of the key reasons was the enormous pressure created by his social media fame. While most young players can develop in the shadows, Mastour was always in the spotlight. The viral videos and media coverage created expectations that no 16-year-old could realistically meet. He was expected to be a world-class player before he even played a professional match. Mastour himself actually admitted in interviews that the pressure took a toll on his mentality. So it wasn't just about playing football anymore. He had to live up to this image that had been created for him on social media. Every bad game, every missed opportunity became a talking point online, and the criticism grew louder with each passing year. There were also whispers of off-pitch issues, which Mastour actually struggled with the intense lifestyle that came with being a social media star and also a footballing prodigy. He was often criticized for focusing more on his Instagram following rather than improving as a footballer, often deciding to rather record videos of himself doing skills rather than actually going onto the pitch and training to become better. There were even rumors that some of the coaches felt that he was distracted by his fame, which affected his performances and led to him never ever making it in the AC Milan squad. After his failed loan spells at Málaga and PEC Zwolle, Mastour returned to AC Milan, but the club had already moved on. He was eventually released from his contract and his career took a steep nosedive. He later signed for Lamia FC in Greece back in 2018, a far cry from the heights of AC Milan. After just a single season, Mastour moved again, this time to Regina in the Serie B, where he struggled to make an impact once again. By this point, it was clear the dream was over. Despite his undeniable talent, Mastour's career had been derailed. He never recovered from the weight of expectations that all of these AC Milan fans and all these footballing fans hoped he would amount to. And his once bright future had just faded into obscurity. The player who had once been dubbed as a future Ballon d'Or winner was now fighting for minutes in the lower leagues of Europe. Many in world football have weighed in on what happened to Hachim Mastour. Former AC Milan coaches have spoken about the club's promotion of Mastour's social media presence and how that may have stunted his development. They argue that rather than nurturing his talent slowly, the club and the world expected too much too soon. Other players like Antonio Cassano have called Mastour's story a cautionary tale. He famously said that football is more than just tricks and skills. It's about mentality, work ethic, and also the ability to handle pressure. And that's where Mastour struggled most. Handling the pressure. The social media world built him up to be this superstar, but when it came time to deliver, the foundations just weren't there. Mastour himself acknowledged this in interviews, that he wasn't mentally ready for the challenges that came with professional football, let alone the overwhelming fame of being a social media star. Today, Hachim Mastour is still only in his mid-20s, and while his footballing career may not have reached the heights that many has expected, he continues to play, trying to rebuild what's left of his career. His story serves as a warning to the next generation of footballers. Fame can be a double-edged sword. Mastour was the first footballer to rise to stardom thanks to social media, but he also became one of its biggest victims. In an age where going viral can bring instant recognition, it's important to remember that behind the highlights and the tricks, there needs to be a solid foundation. Mastour's talent was real, but the hype created an illusion that was impossible to live up to. His story is a reminder that while social media can create stars, it can also destroy them. So what do you think? Did social media ruin Hachim Mastour's career, or was he simply a victim of circumstances? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and also subscribe for more footballing content like this. And remember that you can catch us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for more footballing content like you just saw now. And guys, don't forget that we will catch you on the next one.